So breaking news out of Atlanta, Fani Willis dumps her man. As we know, the judge said either you get rid of the prosecutor with whom you had an affair or you're going to have to disqualify yourself. She chose to get rid of the prosecutor. To coin a phrase, she didn't exactly stand by the man she loved, but that goes back to Edward VII a long time ago. Joining us now on set, the great Alan Dershowitz, professor emeritus at Harvard Law School and author of Get Trump, The Threat to Civil Liberties, Due Process, and Our Constitutional Rule of Law. First of all, Professor, it's a pleasure to have you on. We're honored. Thank you very much.
It's my honor.
What do you make of this Fani Willis story so far?
Well, this judge tried to be Solomon. He cut the baby in half and the baby died. This was a terrible, terrible decision.
Ah, interesting.
He says, I have reason to believe and doubt the credibility of her testimony. That's just a euphemism to say she was lying through her teeth when she denied having an affair and when she claimed she paid back all the money. I have reason to doubt the credibility of her testimony. And then he proceeds to believe her and says, oh, but you know, she didn't benefit at all and she didn't bring this prosecution in order to benefit. You can't have it both ways. This was an attempt to try to satisfy both sides. It was a terrible and dishonest opinion.
So he should have said, if I listen to you, this is fascinating, because this is a new breaking story. He should have said, first of all, to Wade, you're out, and to Willis, you're out also.
You're out and you're going to jail.
Right.
Because he saw her with his own eyes and with all of our eyes. She looked him in the face and lied through her teeth. She committed perjury. She committed obstruction of justice. She committed conspiracy to commit perjury. She did everything a prosecutor shouldn't do. The idea that she started her affair years before she appointed him, and then the cell phone records. They don't lie. There are people in jail, people on death row, on less convincing evidence.
20,000 text messages. Unbelievable.
And cell phone records that show him driving toward her house, getting there at about 10 o'clock at night, staying until 4 in the morning. That was a long Scrabble game. And then leaving, going home, and she calls him to get home. No jury in the world would have believed that testimony, would believe her uncorroborated testimony. Oh, I paid him back every penny. No, I didn't keep a record. I have no withdrawal or deposit slips. I didn't take any photographs. I didn't even make a note of it. Just trust me. I'm such a truth-telling person. After all, didn't you see me tell the truth about the affair? Why don't you believe me now? No, he shouldn't have believed a word she said. He should have disqualified her and recommended her to the district attorney for prosecution in a different county.
So therefore, we heard the last of this. In other words, Mr. Trump's side and the other defendants, can they come back? Can they appeal this decision and say the kinds of things that you're suggesting?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I think that when you refuse to disqualify somebody, that should be an issue that you can take up to the court right away because it's a final judgment. If she's in the case, she's in the case. If they can't do it now, they can certainly do it if they get convicted. But if I were Trump's lawyers, I would make every effort to try to bring this case to an appellate court now. It's a good record because he basically finds her lying, basically finds that he paid for all of their trips. There's documentation of that. Then the burden should shift back to her to prove that she paid him back. She can't do that.
No proof, no receipts, no nothing. You're still left with this RICO approach, this racketeering approach, which many people said just does not fit. What does Alan Dershowitz say?
I once had a client. His name was Guido, and he was in prison. And he called me and says, what's this RICO stuff? It's anti-Italian. Why didn't they name it Irving? Why didn't they name it RICO? It's designed for, and it was designed to get the mafia. It wasn't designed to get political figures who have a reasonable argument, an argument I disagree with fundamentally, that they could have challenged the election through a different slate of electors. That's all legal stuff. That's not RICO stuff. And so this case should be dismissed. All of the cases against Trump should be dismissed. The only one that has a plausible possibility of winning is the Florida case where he waved a document in front of a journalist and said, this used to be classified, I could have declassified it. But that's not a smoking gun. That's a smoking cigarette butt. It's a minor offense.
Could be even smoking hearsay. I mean, no one knows for sure who said what to whom in those kinds of situations.
No, there's a tape of that, but we don't know whether he actually showed the document to anybody, and whether the document actually contained classified material. Knowing Trump, it could have been a blank piece of paper, and he was puffing.
You think this Georgia case is just going to wind up going up in flames, one way or the other?
I think it will go up in flames. I think it's never been a strong case at all, and I think this will delay it probably beyond the election. Look, the goal here was to rush convictions, particularly in New York, where a jury will convict a ham sandwich named Trump, and to try to get a down and dirty conviction knowing they may be reversed on appeal after the election. It's the personification of election interference.
Professor Alan Dershowitz, the best of the best. It's such a pleasure to see you on set.
My pleasure to see you. Thank you.
Talk soon.